The morning of December 7, 1941, began with a deceptive calm over Pearl Harbor. Mist hung low over the water, obscuring the rising sun, and the gentle sway of ships suggested routine patrols and exercises. Yet in the shadows of this quiet, the USS Nevada, an aged but formidable battleship, braced for what would become an unimaginable trial. The Japanese attack descended like a storm, bombs and torpedoes tearing through the harbor with ruthless precision. Amid the chaos, the Nevada faced an extraordinary test. Crippled by a torpedo that had ripped open her hull and multiple bomb strikes that shredded her deck, she defied expectations by attempting a maneuver that would etch her name into naval history. The ship's crew, battered and terrified, moved with a discipline born of years of training and survival instincts sharpened by war drills. Orders were shouted over the roar of explosions, guns jammed and unjammed in rapid succession, and the smokestacks belched black clouds as the Nevada limped forward, refusing to succumb to the assault that had immobilized so many around her. At the heart of the Nevada's resilience lay more than steel plating and armaments. The battleship's captain and officers displayed a rare combination of courage, ingenuity, and tenacity. They recognized that surrender was not an option, that the very survival of the fleet depended on maintaining initiative even while under heavy fire. Decisions were made in split seconds. Which damage control teams would seal compartments, which engineers would redirect steam to compensate for destroyed turbines, and how to keep the ship moving despite crippling injuries to the hull. Every choice bore immense weight, and every action contributed to an effort that would demonstrate not only the ship's engineering but the extraordinary human endurance of her crew. The USS Nevada's attempt to steam out of the harbor under attack was unprecedented. Unlike other vessels that had been immobilized or capsized within minutes, the Nevada became a symbol of resistance in motion. Her movements drew concentrated fire, yet she pressed forward, creating a distraction that allowed other ships and crews precious moments to regroup. Torpedo planes swooped low, dropping explosive charges that could have easily ended her journey, but the battleship's combination of armor, crew coordination, and evasive maneuvers kept her afloat. Fires erupted along her deck, men were thrown against bulkheads, and water gushed through compromised compartments. Yet the ship advanced, a steel defiance cutting through chaos. Damage control efforts aboard the Nevada were heroic by any measure. Sailors crawled through flooded compartments, plugging holes and reinforcing bulkheads, while fires threatened to reach ammunition stores. Steam lines that had ruptured were repaired under duress, and critical systems were rerouted to maintain some propulsion. In these moments, the human dimension of naval warfare became starkly apparent. Courage, skill, and sheer determination could match steel and artillery in determining a ship's fate. The crew's ability to adapt, improvise, and act decisively under extreme stress would later be recognized as a defining factor in the Nevada's survival and her impact on subsequent naval operations. The attack on Pearl Harbor was a moment of shocking destruction, yet it also revealed the strategic value of ships that could withstand severe damage. The Nevada, by attempting to maneuver despite crippling hits, disrupted Japanese targeting priorities. Enemy pilots were forced to redirect their focus to a moving target, increasing the vulnerability of other vessels. Each second that the Nevada maintained motion represented not just her own survival, but an operational advantage for the remaining fleet. In effect, her resistance changed the tactical calculus of the battle, creating openings and opportunities amid a devastating attack that had overwhelmed so many others. The ship's design, while predating modern naval engineering advancements, proved unexpectedly resilient. Her compartmentalized hull allowed damage to be isolated, preventing catastrophic flooding that could have sunk her immediately. Anti-torpedo bulkheads absorbed some of the impact, and redundancy in propulsion systems allowed limited mobility even after serious turbine damage. These features, combined with the crew's training and ingenuity, enabled the Nevada to undertake maneuvers that were previously considered impossible for a vessel under such assault. The interplay of design, human skill, and tactical decision-making transformed her from a target into an active participant in the defense of the harbor. Survivor accounts from the Nevada provide vivid testimony to the intensity of the ordeal. Sailors described fires raging across the deck, smoke reducing visibility to mere feet, and the deafening roar of explosions as bombs struck nearby vessels. Amid this chaos, teams moved with precision and coordination, carrying out damage control, tending to wounded comrades, and maintaining essential operations. The ship's gunners returned fire despite personal danger, engaging enemy aircraft with determination and accuracy. These human stories highlight how individual courage and collective discipline can shape outcomes even in seemingly hopeless circumstances. The Nevada's actions during the attack had immediate operational consequences. By attempting to exit the harbor, she forced Japanese forces to expend ordnance and attention on a moving, heavily defended target. This shift allowed other ships to reduce exposure, reorganize defensive positions, and attempt countermeasures. The psychological effect on both American and Japanese personnel was also significant. For American sailors, the Nevada became a symbol of resistance and morale. For Japanese forces, she was an unpredictable element that complicated an already complex assault. The interplay of strategy, chance, and human determination underscored the battle's complexity and foreshadowed the ship's long-term influence on naval operations. Following the attack, the Nevada underwent extensive repairs and refitting. Her damage, while severe, was meticulously documented and analyzed, informing future battleship design and naval strategy. Engineers studied the ship's performance under extreme conditions, noting how compartmentalization, propulsion redundancy, and crew coordination contributed to survival. These lessons influenced the construction and operation of subsequent vessels, highlighting the intersection of practical experience and strategic foresight in shaping naval warfare. The ship's resilience became a case study in how human and mechanical elements could work together to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. Beyond her immediate actions, the USS Nevada's story contributed to a broader understanding of naval engagement during World War II. Her performance demonstrated that even older ships, previously considered outdated, could play decisive roles when combined with skilled personnel, innovative tactics, and resilience. The psychological impact on American forces extended beyond Pearl Harbor. The knowledge that ships could endure catastrophic damage and continue to function underlined the importance of morale, preparation, and adaptive strategy. The Nevada became a touchstone for naval officers and strategists, illustrating that determination and ingenuity could alter the trajectory of engagements even when technological or numerical superiority favored the opponent. As the war progressed, the Nevada participated in multiple campaigns, her legacy as a symbol of resilience carrying into each mission. She provided artillery support for amphibious assaults, with her guns reshaping battlefields and supporting troops under fire. Her operational history reinforced the lessons learned at Pearl Harbor. Ships that combined robust design, skilled crews, and tactical audacity could have an outsized impact on conflict outcomes. The Nevada's evolution from a crippled battleship to a decisive instrument in naval operations exemplifies how adversity can catalyze innovation, courage, and strategic advantage. The experience of the Nevada's crew also underscores the human cost of naval warfare. Sailors faced intense danger, fatigue, and trauma, yet their collective discipline allowed the ship to survive attacks that would have destroyed lesser vessels. The cohesion, courage, and ingenuity displayed during the Pearl Harbor assault and subsequent missions demonstrate that human factors are as critical to military success as technology or strategy. Each action, decision, and improvisation contributed to the ship's enduring effectiveness and to the broader Allied war effort. The USS Nevada's story, beginning with her stand at Pearl Harbor, illustrates a transformation in naval warfare. A vessel once considered at risk due to age and damage became an instrument of strategic influence, reshaping engagements and demonstrating the interplay of design, human skill, and tactical decision-making. Her resilience under fire and continued service across multiple theaters offer a profound testament to adaptability, courage, and innovation in wartime. The ship's legacy continues to inspire naval historians, strategists, and military personnel, symbolizing how determination and ingenuity can turn even the most dire circumstances into opportunities for decisive action. After surviving the initial onslaught at Pearl Harbor, the USS Nevada's journey transitioned from survival to active preparation for a broader role in the war. Shipyard repairs began almost immediately, with teams working tirelessly to restore her hull, propulsion systems, and weaponry. The magnitude of the damage demanded innovative solutions. Traditional methods were adapted, and engineers devised temporary reinforcements that allowed the vessel to return to operational status while comprehensive repairs proceeded. Each correction, each welded plate and patched compartment, reflected the lessons learned under fire. Every inch of steel repaired was a testament to human skill and resilience, and the Nevada herself became a living symbol of determination against overwhelming odds. The refitting process included upgrades that enhanced her combat effectiveness beyond her original design. Anti-aircraft batteries were modernized, radar systems installed, and fire control systems enhanced to increase precision. Propulsion redundancies were reinforced to prevent immobilization in future engagements, and armor plating was augmented to absorb hits that might otherwise disable critical sections. Crew quarters were reorganized to optimize efficiency, enabling sailors to respond more quickly during combat situations. The meticulous integration of technology, engineering, and personnel planning ensured that the Nevada would not only survive but also actively influence battles across the Pacific. Training and preparation for the crew were equally rigorous. Veterans who had endured Pearl Harbor shared first-hand knowledge of battlefield conditions, imparting lessons about damage control, emergency maneuvers, and rapid coordination under fire. Drills simulated attacks from torpedo planes, dive bombers, and submarine threats, emphasizing adaptability and cohesion. Teams practiced sealing compartments, rerouting power, and maintaining weapon systems even while under simulated damage conditions. The intense preparation cultivated confidence, ensuring that when the Nevada returned to the front line, every crew member understood both their individual role and the interdependent operations that ensured the ship's effectiveness. The ship's redeployment to the Pacific theater placed her in the center of decisive engagements. During the campaigns in the Aleutian Islands and later the Marianas, the Nevada served as both a symbol and an instrument of power. She provided artillery support for amphibious landings, using her long-range guns to neutralize fortified positions, destroy enemy installations, and provide cover for advancing troops. Her presence demonstrated that even a ship once considered crippled could wield influence far beyond the immediate battlefield. The lessons of Pearl Harbor, resilience, adaptability, and coordinated human effort, translated into a commanding presence that both inspired Allied forces and unnerved opponents. Operational strategy emphasized combined arms integration. The Nevada's artillery was synchronized with aerial reconnaissance, naval support, and infantry movements, allowing her to target positions with remarkable precision. Spotter planes relayed coordinates from enemy positions, while intelligence teams analyzed terrain and fortifications to determine optimal bombardment sequences. Each mission became a study in coordination, highlighting how technological capability, human expertise, and strategic insight could coalesce into overwhelming operational advantage. The battleship's influence extended across multiple dimensions, demonstrating that naval power was not merely about raw firepower but also about timing, coordination, and informed decision-making. The psychological dimension of the Nevada's operations cannot be overstated. Enemy forces quickly learned that her presence signaled effective artillery support, disrupting defensive strategies and forcing rapid recalibration under pressure. For Allied forces, the ship's endurance served as a morale booster, reinforcing confidence in naval superiority and the capability to overcome adversity. The combination of visible firepower and the symbolic legacy of survival under attack created a layered psychological effect that shaped both Allied and enemy perceptions, demonstrating that the impact of a single vessel extended far beyond its physical capabilities. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Nevada's service was the crew's adaptation to extended combat conditions. Prolonged missions in hostile waters demanded extraordinary endurance, focus, and cohesion. Engineers maintained critical systems under continuous strain, gunners rotated shifts to ensure sustained defensive capability, and officers coordinated complex maneuvers while under threat of attack. Each decision carried profound consequences, yet the crew consistently demonstrated the ability to execute orders with precision and initiative. Their experiences exemplify the interplay of human resilience, technical expertise, and strategic application that defined naval warfare in the Pacific. The Nevada's artillery played a decisive role in amphibious operations, demonstrating the strategic impact of long-range firepower in shaping battle outcomes. Fortified positions that would have stalled landings were systematically neutralized, allowing ground forces to advance with reduced casualties. Enemy bunkers, artillery emplacements, and supply depots were destroyed or severely damaged, forcing defensive units to reposition under pressure. The precision and coordination of these bombardments illustrated how a single ship, when combined with intelligence and operational planning, could influence the dynamics of an entire campaign, altering outcomes that might otherwise have been decided by infantry engagements alone. Technological innovation continued to enhance the Nevada's capabilities. Radar-assisted targeting allowed accurate bombardment even under conditions of limited visibility, while upgraded fire control systems increased the efficiency of her main battery. Anti-aircraft defenses were integrated with early warning systems, enabling faster response to incoming aircraft. Each advancement reflected lessons learned from both past engagements and contemporaneous naval operations, ensuring that the battleship remained relevant despite the rapid evolution of warfare technology. The Nevada exemplified the integration of legacy design with modern innovation, a testament to adaptive engineering under the pressures of war. Casualties, while minimized through coordinated damage control and operational strategy, remained a sobering reality. Crew members faced injuries, stress, and the constant awareness of potential catastrophe. Yet these challenges reinforced bonds and heightened the effectiveness of teams who understood the stakes of their actions. The human commitment aboard the Nevada transformed the ship into a platform not only for physical engagement, but also for the demonstration of courage, ingenuity, and resilience. Their experiences underscore the fact that naval victory depends as much on human endurance as on steel, firepower, or tactical planning. The Nevada's operational history illustrates the broader evolution of naval warfare in World War II. Her ability to survive catastrophic damage, undergo rapid refitting, and re-enter frontline operations showcased the strategic value of adaptability. The integration of intelligence, artillery, and coordination with ground and air forces demonstrated a multidimensional approach that maximized effectiveness. Lessons learned from the Nevada's performance informed broader Allied strategy, influencing both the deployment of battleships and the planning of amphibious operations. Her service highlights the intersection of engineering, human skill, and strategic foresight that defined effective naval power during the conflict. By mid-war, the USS Nevada had evolved from a symbol of survival at Pearl Harbor to an operational linchpin in multiple campaigns. Her presence in critical operations underscored the enduring relevance of battleships when combined with modernized weaponry, trained crews, and strategic coordination. Enemy forces learned that underestimating the Nevada carried profound risks, as her firepower and tactical flexibility could decisively influence battlefield conditions. The ship's legacy demonstrated that resilience under attack and the capacity for operational reinvention could transform a vessel into a force capable of shaping war outcomes far beyond initial expectations. Every engagement reinforced the lessons learned from her initial ordeal. Crews honed procedures for damage control, communication, and artillery targeting, while engineers continued to improve systems to enhance survivability and combat effectiveness. Officers coordinated increasingly complex operations that synchronized naval bombardment with troop movements, aerial reconnaissance, and intelligence input. These cumulative experiences not only enhanced the Nevada's operational value but also provided a framework for understanding the evolving demands of naval warfare, emphasizing adaptability, integration, and human initiative as decisive factors. As the USS Nevada continued her service across the Pacific, her operational significance extended beyond the raw firepower of her guns. The battleship became a hub of coordination, a mobile command center where officers, intelligence analysts, and crew synchronized every aspect of naval operations. The ship's capacity to absorb damage while maintaining operational effectiveness allowed commanders to execute complex maneuvers that would have been impossible with less resilient vessels. During the assaults on Saipan and Guam, the Nevada's artillery delivered devastating barrages on entrenched enemy positions, creating corridors for amphibious landings and preventing Japanese forces from effectively regrouping. Each salvo reflected both meticulous planning and the adaptability of crew under pressure. Damage control remained a continuous priority. The crew, seasoned by experience at Pearl Harbor and subsequent missions, refined methods to manage breaches, fires, and mechanical failures under combat conditions. Teams were divided into specialized units, each responsible for rapid response in designated areas. Engineers rerouted power, maintained steam lines, and repaired compromised hydraulic systems, often while under threat of incoming attacks. Their actions ensured that the Nevada remained operational even during intense enemy bombardments, demonstrating the crucial intersection of human skill, technical expertise, and coordinated effort in sustaining combat capability. The psychological effect of the Nevada's presence on both Allied and Japanese forces cannot be understated. For American troops, her steadfastness symbolized resilience and reliability, providing a morale boost that extended beyond her artillery support. Soldiers preparing for amphibious landings could trust that the Nevada's guns would deliver precise, sustained bombardment, reducing enemy resistance and saving countless lives. Conversely, Japanese commanders had to factor her presence into every defensive strategy, knowing that a single salvo could disrupt fortified positions, destroy supplies, and force critical adjustments under pressure. This dual psychological impact amplified the battleship's strategic value far beyond its physical contributions. Intelligence integration was a defining feature of the Nevada's campaigns. Coordination with reconnaissance aircraft, spotter planes, and ground observers enabled precise targeting, transforming each bombardment into a calculated instrument of operational advantage. Enemy fortifications, supply caches, and troop concentrations were systematically neutralized, weakening resistance before ground forces even engaged. The combination of accurate intelligence, firepower, and disciplined execution underscored the evolution of naval warfare into a multidimensional endeavor where information, timing, and human coordination were as decisive as steel and artillery. Technological innovation aboard the Nevada enhanced her effectiveness in every engagement. Upgraded radar systems allowed for accurate targeting in poor visibility conditions, while improved fire control mechanisms increased precision and efficiency. Anti-aircraft batteries, integrated with early warning systems, provided robust protection against aerial attacks, ensuring that the ship could maintain offensive operations even while defending herself. These enhancements, coupled with a highly trained crew, allowed the Nevada to operate with a degree of autonomy and tactical flexibility that older vessels of similar class could not match. Her adaptability became a force multiplier in every theater of engagement. The Nevada's role extended beyond direct combat. She provided logistical support, communications coordination, and served as a platform for command and control. Admirals and mission planners could observe battlefield conditions in real time, making strategic decisions based on both intelligence reports and immediate situational awareness. Her mobility allowed rapid redeployment to critical sectors, amplifying her influence across multiple campaigns. This combination of firepower, intelligence coordination, and operational versatility transformed the Nevada from a mere vessel into an integral component of Allied naval strategy. Crew cohesion and morale were critical to maintaining operational effectiveness. Extended deployments, constant threat of attack, and the psychological strain of high-stakes missions required extraordinary resilience. Leadership aboard the Nevada emphasized teamwork, discipline, and adaptability, ensuring that personnel could respond decisively to unforeseen challenges. Damage control drills, weapons training, and strategic exercises were conducted continuously, reinforcing operational readiness and embedding a culture of collective responsibility. The crew's commitment and proficiency became a cornerstone of the ship's enduring success in combat operations. Amphibious operations during the Mariana and Palau Islands campaigns highlighted the Nevada's multifaceted contributions. Her artillery barges neutralized entrenched defensive positions, allowing infantry to advance with reduced casualties. Coordination with aerial reconnaissance ensured that bombardments targeted high-priority positions, maximizing operational impact while conserving ammunition and minimizing wasted effort. Each engagement reflected a delicate balance of firepower, intelligence, and human judgment, demonstrating that naval success depended on the seamless integration of multiple operational dimensions. Engineering challenges were met with creativity and precision. Damage sustained during previous engagements had necessitated improvisation, and engineers developed solutions that combined rapid repair techniques with long-term enhancements. Hull reinforcements, propulsion adjustments, and electrical system redundancies ensured that the Nevada could endure future engagements with greater resilience. These engineering feats not only extended the ship's operational life but also provided valuable insights for the design and maintenance of subsequent battleships, illustrating how practical experience under combat conditions informed broader naval engineering practices. The psychological impact of repeated engagements on the crew was profound. Sailors endured long periods of heightened alertness, witnessing destruction, casualties, and the relentless pressure of combat. Yet these experiences forged resilience, skill, and cohesion. Each successful mission reinforced confidence in their capabilities and in the ship's structural integrity, creating a feedback loop that enhanced operational effectiveness. The human dimension of warfare, endurance, courage, and adaptability was inseparable from the technological and tactical components, underscoring the holistic nature of naval combat during World War II. Strategic decisions regarding the Nevada's deployment reflected her dual role as both a combatant and a symbol. Commanders recognized that her continued presence influenced enemy behavior, compelled allocation of resources, and altered defensive strategies. The ship's reputation, built on survival and effectiveness under fire, became a psychological tool as much as a tactical asset. Enemy forces were forced to engage with the Nevada cautiously, aware that miscalculations could result in devastating consequences, while Allied planners leveraged her capabilities to achieve maximum operational advantage. The Nevada's performance influenced broader naval doctrine. Lessons learned from her survival, refitting, and operational deployment informed decisions regarding fleet composition, tactical coordination, and engineering standards. Her ability to absorb damage and remain operational challenged traditional assumptions about the vulnerability of battleships, leading to revisions in both offensive and defensive naval strategy. The ship became a case study in adaptability, resilience, and the integration of technology and human skill, providing enduring insights into the principles of effective naval warfare. Combat experience reinforced the importance of continuous training, maintenance, and tactical innovation. Crew members developed rapid response techniques for unforeseen damage, engineers implemented creative solutions to mechanical failures, and officers refined operational coordination. This iterative process of learning and adaptation ensured that the Nevada remained an effective and versatile component of the Allied fleet. Her continued operational success demonstrated that survival under fire, coupled with innovation and human ingenuity, could transform a damaged vessel into a decisive instrument of war. By the time of the Philippines campaign, the USS Nevada had established a record of endurance, effectiveness, and adaptability. Her long-range artillery provided essential support for amphibious landings, neutralizing defensive positions and facilitating strategic maneuvers. Her integration with reconnaissance, intelligence, and command operations amplified her impact beyond what any single battleship might traditionally achieve. The combination of human skill, technological innovation, and strategic foresight solidified her reputation as a vessel that could shape the course of engagements across the Pacific. The ship's legacy extended to the lessons imparted to subsequent crews and vessels. Training protocols, damage control techniques, and operational strategies developed aboard the Nevada informed broader naval practices, ensuring that future deployments benefited from the accumulated knowledge of experience. Her operational history became a living repository of insight, demonstrating how adaptability, coordination, and resilience could redefine the role of battleships in modern warfare. The Nevada exemplified the principle that courage and skill, combined with engineering excellence, could turn even a previously crippled ship into a decisive instrument of strategic influence. The USS Nevada's contribution to the Allied efforts in the Pacific extended beyond direct combat. Her presence provided critical support for amphibious operations, acting as both artillery platform and coordination hub for complex assaults. During the liberation campaigns in the Philippines, her guns were used to systematically dismantle Japanese fortifications, creating safe pathways for infantry and minimizing exposure to ambushes. Coordination with reconnaissance aircraft and forward observers enabled precise targeting, allowing the Nevada to strike key defensive positions while conserving ammunition. The combination of firepower, intelligence integration, and crew discipline created a force multiplier effect, elevating the impact of every mission she participated in. Damage control, a discipline that had become a defining feature of the Nevada's operational culture, was pushed to new levels during these campaigns. Engineers and sailors developed increasingly sophisticated methods to isolate breaches, suppress fires, and maintain propulsion under adverse conditions. Crew rotations were optimized to ensure sustained effectiveness during prolonged engagements, and contingency plans were refined to account for potential system failures. Each action underscored the human capacity to respond decisively under extreme stress, demonstrating that adaptability, courage, and teamwork were just as crucial as the ship's hardware in determining operational success. The ship's technological upgrades were tested under the rigors of sustained combat. Radar-assisted targeting allowed accurate strikes in low-visibility conditions, while improved anti-aircraft batteries defended against kamikaze attacks that had begun to dominate Japanese tactics. Fire control enhancements ensured efficient coordination between gun crews, providing rapid response to evolving battlefield conditions. These innovations were complemented by the skill and experience of the crew, whose familiarity with the ship's systems allowed them to exploit every technological advantage to maximum effect. In this way, the Nevada became not only a survivor of previous battles but an evolving instrument of tactical superiority. Psychological resilience remained a constant requirement for both crew and command staff. Prolonged exposure to combat, coupled with the ever-present risk of injury or death, demanded mental fortitude. Leadership aboard the Nevada emphasized maintaining focus, managing stress, and fostering teamwork. Sailors who had survived Pearl Harbor and earlier campaigns drew upon their experiences to mentor newer crew members, ensuring that lessons learned under fire were continuously transmitted. The shared history of the ship's survival created a culture of confidence, empowering personnel to operate effectively even under extraordinary pressure. The Nevada's artillery had strategic implications beyond immediate battlefield support. By neutralizing critical enemy positions, she disrupted supply lines, communications networks, and command infrastructure, weakening the Japanese capacity to resist further Allied advances. Her long-range guns allowed precise strikes at locations inaccessible to ground forces, effectively shaping the theater of operations in ways that directly influenced the success of broader military campaigns. The cumulative effect of her bombardments underscored the importance of integrating naval firepower into overall strategic planning, illustrating how a single vessel could alter the operational landscape. Coordination with Allied forces, both naval and ground units, highlighted the multidimensional role of the Nevada. Her communication systems enabled real-time information exchange, allowing commanders to adapt plans based on evolving battlefield conditions. Intelligence officers aboard the ship synthesized data from aerial reconnaissance, intercepted communications, and ground observations, translating it into actionable strategies for both artillery strikes and tactical maneuvers. The integration of information, firepower, and human initiative exemplified the evolution of modern naval warfare into a networked system, where adaptability and rapid decision-making were as critical as raw firepower. Engineering ingenuity remained a cornerstone of operational effectiveness. Maintenance crews continually assessed the ship's systems, identifying vulnerabilities and implementing enhancements. Hull reinforcements, propulsion optimizations, and electrical redundancies ensured that the Nevada could withstand the intensifying demands of prolonged campaigns. Each modification reflected not only the lessons of past engagements but also anticipation of future challenges, demonstrating how adaptability and innovation were embedded into the ship's operational philosophy. The cumulative effect of these efforts ensured that the Nevada remained a reliable platform for extended combat operations. The ship's performance during the Iwo Jima and Okinawa campaigns further cemented her reputation as a resilient and versatile asset. Her artillery barges cleared paths for advancing infantry, destroyed entrenched fortifications, and provided critical suppression of enemy positions. Coordination with aerial support enhanced the precision of bombardments, while real-time intelligence allowed for dynamic adjustments during operations. These missions exemplified the integration of firepower, human skill, and strategic foresight, illustrating how the Nevada could exert influence far beyond the immediate impact of her guns. The experiences of the crew during these campaigns provide insight into the human dimension of naval warfare. Sailors navigated constant threats, from artillery fire to kamikaze attacks, maintaining operational effectiveness despite physical and psychological strain. Damage control teams executed repairs under extreme conditions, gunners responded with precision despite exhaustion, and officers coordinated complex maneuvers with clarity and authority. Their collective resilience transformed the Nevada into a vessel capable of influencing entire theaters of operations, demonstrating that human factors are as decisive as technological capabilities in determining the outcome of military engagements. Strategically, the Nevada's contributions extended to shaping enemy perceptions. Japanese commanders recognized her as a persistent and adaptable threat, forcing them to allocate resources and attention to counter her presence. Her ability to absorb damage, maintain offensive capability, and coordinate with other allied forces created operational challenges that diverted enemy efforts from other objectives. The psychological dimension of her impact, both as a symbol of resistance and as a tactical threat, demonstrated that naval effectiveness encompasses not only physical actions but also the influence of perception and morale on the adversary. The ship's integration with emerging technologies reflected the evolution of naval doctrine. Radar, improved fire control systems, and enhanced communications allowed for real-time responsiveness and precise targeting, ensuring that the Nevada's capabilities remained relevant in the rapidly changing context of Pacific warfare. These technological advances, coupled with the experience and skill of the crew, created a synergistic effect in which human and mechanical elements reinforced each other to maximize operational effectiveness. The Nevada became a case study in the adaptation of legacy platforms to modern warfare demands. Sustained operations required continuous refinement of tactics and procedures. Crew drills emphasized rapid response to damage, efficient ammunition handling, and coordinated gunfire, ensuring that the ship could respond dynamically to emerging threats. Engineers implemented maintenance protocols to maximize system reliability, while officers adapted operational strategies based on intelligence assessments and battlefield observations. This iterative process of learning and adaptation reinforced the Nevada's effectiveness, demonstrating how continuous improvement in both human and mechanical domains was essential to maintaining superiority in complex combat environments. The cumulative impact of the Nevada's service illustrates the broader principles of naval engagement during World War II. Her endurance, adaptability, and coordination transformed her from a vessel crippled at Pearl Harbor into a decisive instrument of Allied strategy. Each campaign she participated in demonstrated how human skill, technological innovation, and tactical foresight could combine to achieve operational objectives that exceeded conventional expectations. The ship's legacy exemplifies the dynamic interplay of resilience, innovation, and strategic application in determining the outcomes of complex military operations. Ultimately, the Nevada's journey highlights the importance of integrating multiple dimensions of combat power. Firepower alone could not achieve the results she delivered. It was the combination of artillery, intelligence, crew skill, and technological adaptation that allowed her to shape battles and influence campaign outcomes. Her sustained performance across multiple theaters provided a blueprint for future naval operations, emphasizing the necessity of adaptability, coordination, and human ingenuity in maximizing the strategic value of naval assets. By the time the USS Nevada approached the final phases of the Pacific campaign, her reputation had solidified as more than just a battleship. It had become a symbol of resilience, ingenuity, and the enduring human spirit in warfare. Each engagement, from Pearl Harbor through the Marianas, the Philippines, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa, had reinforced the lessons that would define modern naval strategy: adaptability, technological integration, and the critical importance of human skill. The Nevada's presence on the front lines was a reminder to both allies and enemies that a vessel could embody not only firepower, but also the ability to survive, innovate, and influence events far beyond its immediate physical capacity. As the Allied forces prepared for the final stages of the war, the Nevada's capabilities were leveraged in increasingly complex operations. Her guns provided crucial support for amphibious assaults, suppressing enemy positions and facilitating troop movements with precision. Reconnaissance aircraft coordinated with the ship's fire control systems, relaying real-time intelligence to adjust bombardment sequences as battle conditions evolved. Each strike demonstrated a remarkable synthesis of strategy, technology, and human initiative, illustrating how naval power had transformed into a multidimensional instrument capable of shaping both battlefield dynamics and broader campaign outcomes. The human element remained central to every operation. Crew members, many of whom had endured the initial devastation of Pearl Harbor, demonstrated extraordinary endurance and adaptability. Damage control teams worked tirelessly to maintain operational integrity, often under fire or amid system malfunctions. Gunners operated with unwavering focus, integrating lessons learned from previous battles to increase accuracy and efficiency. Command officers coordinated increasingly complex maneuvers, balancing offensive objectives with defensive contingencies. The Nevada's success in these final campaigns underscored the inseparability of human skill and mechanical capability in achieving decisive results. Engineering ingenuity continued to play a critical role. The ship systems, while initially damaged and compromised, had been continuously upgraded and optimized. Redundancies in propulsion, power, and communication ensured that operational capability was maintained even under extreme stress. Hull reinforcements and armor adjustments enhanced survivability against kamikaze attacks and shore-based artillery, while fire control and radar systems ensured precise targeting under all visibility conditions. These technological enhancements, combined with the crew's mastery of the ship systems, allowed the Nevada to operate as a versatile and reliable force multiplier across multiple theaters of combat. Throughout her service, the Nevada's artillery had become a decisive factor in shaping campaign outcomes. Her long-range guns dismantled fortifications, disrupted supply lines, and neutralized strategic positions that could have prolonged engagements or increased casualties among ground forces. The integration of intelligence, aerial spotting, and tactical planning enabled her to strike with precision, amplifying her operational influence far beyond the capabilities of older, less adaptable vessels. Each salvo represented a calculated effort to synchronize technology, information, and human expertise in the service of strategic objectives. The psychological dimension of the Nevada's presence remained profound. For Allied troops, the battleship symbolized resilience and capability, instilling confidence that the combined might of naval power and disciplined personnel could overcome entrenched opposition. Enemy forces, aware of her firepower and operational flexibility, were compelled to adapt defensive strategies and redistribute resources, often in ways that inadvertently exposed vulnerabilities elsewhere. This dual psychological impact, bolstering Allied morale while complicating enemy calculations, demonstrated that the Nevada's influence extended beyond direct combat and into the realm of strategic perception and psychological warfare. Coordination with other naval and ground units highlighted the Nevada's role as an integral component of combined operations. Her communication systems facilitated real-time information exchange between fleet commanders, forward observers, and ground forces, enabling adaptive responses to unfolding battlefield conditions. Intelligence officers aboard synthesized reports from multiple sources to inform targeting decisions, ensuring that each engagement maximized operational effectiveness while minimizing risk. The result was a level of operational cohesion that allowed the Nevada to function not merely as a platform for artillery, but as a command and coordination hub central to the success of complex campaigns. Extended deployments under combat conditions tested both human and mechanical endurance. Crew members faced continuous exposure to threats, fatigue, and the psychological pressures of high-stakes operations. Yet these challenges reinforced cohesion, skill, and resilience. Damage control procedures evolved into highly efficient routines, gunners operated with near-automated precision, and officers developed dynamic strategies responsive to the fluidity of battle. These experiences reflected the Nevada's dual nature: a vessel defined by steel and firepower, and a vessel shaped by human perseverance and ingenuity. In the final months of combat operations, the Nevada participated in critical strikes that directly influenced the trajectory of the war. Her bombardments paved the way for ground forces, neutralized fortified positions, and disrupted enemy coordination. The cumulative effect of these engagements demonstrated the strategic value of a battleship that could survive initial catastrophe, integrate technological enhancements, and leverage an experienced and disciplined crew to achieve decisive results. The Nevada's operational history exemplified the principle that success in modern warfare required the seamless integration of multiple dimensions: human skill, technological innovation, intelligence, and strategic foresight. The ship's legacy also influenced broader naval doctrine. Lessons from her survival and operational effectiveness informed fleet composition, engineering standards, and tactical planning. Her ability to absorb damage and remain combat-effective challenged traditional assumptions about the vulnerabilities of capital ships, while her integration into combined operations highlighted the increasing importance of coordination, intelligence, and adaptability. The Nevada became a benchmark for resilience, illustrating how lessons learned under fire could shape not only immediate operational success, but also the development of long-term naval strategy. As the war drew to a close, the USS Nevada had transcended her initial role as a mere battleship. She embodied the evolution of naval warfare into a multidimensional enterprise in which technology, human skill, and strategic insight were equally critical. Her service demonstrated that even vessels crippled in early engagements could, through repair, innovation, and disciplined execution, influence the course of entire campaigns. The Nevada's journey from the chaos of Pearl Harbor to the decisive operations in the Pacific exemplified how resilience and adaptability, when combined with effective coordination and human ingenuity, could transform a single ship into an instrument of lasting strategic impact. The final operations also highlighted the importance of adaptability in the face of evolving threats. Kamikaze tactics, shore-based artillery, and unpredictable weather conditions demanded constant recalibration of strategy. The Nevada's crew, drawing upon years of accumulated experience, responded with exceptional agility. Engineers implemented rapid system repairs, gunners adjusted targeting in response to dynamic conditions, and officers coordinated complex maneuvers that maintained both offensive and defensive capabilities. This capacity to adapt reinforced the ship's enduring relevance, demonstrating that resilience and innovation were not static qualities, but active processes that shaped operational outcomes continuously. Through these campaigns, the Nevada's influence extended beyond tactical outcomes to operational philosophy. Her integration of firepower, intelligence, and human initiative became a model for combined operations, demonstrating that victory depended on the interplay of multiple factors rather than any single advantage. Lessons learned aboard the ship informed subsequent planning for fleet operations, amphibious assaults, and naval engineering standards, leaving a lasting imprint on the practice of warfare. The Nevada exemplified the principle that effective military power is multidimensional, combining technical capability with human skill, coordination, and adaptability. As the final battles concluded and the Pacific theater stabilized, the Nevada stood as a testament to the transformative power of resilience and innovation. Her survival and operational success validated the strategies employed, the technological upgrades implemented, and the dedication of her crew. The ship's legacy extended beyond her immediate contributions to combat. She became a symbol of the capacity to overcome adversity, a benchmark for operational excellence, and an enduring example of how a vessel, when guided by skill, coordination, and human ingenuity, could decisively shape the outcomes of war. Ultimately, the story of the USS Nevada illustrates the convergence of factors that define effective military power. Engineering, technology, tactical planning, human skill, and morale combined to transform a vessel once crippled in a surprise attack into a decisive agent of strategic influence. The lessons of her service remain relevant, providing insight into the integration of multidimensional capabilities in high-stakes operational environments. The Nevada's journey from destruction to decisive impact exemplifies the enduring principles of adaptability, coordination, and resilience that continue to inform military practice and strategy. In conclusion, the USS Nevada's history demonstrates that resilience under fire, technological innovation, and human determination can turn even the most damaged platform into a cornerstone of operational success. Her legacy serves as a reminder that warfare is defined not only by the capabilities of machines but also by the ingenuity, courage, and discipline of those who operate them. The Nevada transformed from a crippled survivor into a force that shaped the Pacific War, leaving an indelible mark on naval history and providing enduring lessons for the integration of human and technological potential in combat.